Greetings. Rise and shine, brother. I am your host, a voice in the wilderness, here to give you a message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice to those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, and are of one mind, one heart, and one spirit. I like to give you the definition of class as it pertains to status. A group of people within a society that possess the same economic status, often determined by occupation, education, income, manners, etc. As we move forward to the end for a new beginning with the elimination of this current corrupt global system into a new world global system of reset and restoration, we as a people will truly be one nation under Yah Allah and will only have one of two choices in which to decide our fate and final judgment, where only two classes of people will be recognized here on the call of Noah. Now, without further ado, Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson with his beloved host, Shelley Bowling.
Right now, you got half of the people in the United States of America, let's just say 323 million, take half of them, and you're going to realize that half of them will die. Why? Because they're non-believers. They're non-productive. They have already been classified to be non-productive because they don't have the minds to even believe truth. No. They just make up as they go along. And especially in the communities in which they have already now made a perfect plan to destroy. You want to know why they're building all new communities? They're going to destroy all the old communities. No one is going to be needed there anymore. They're non-productive. Look outside at their houses. Is any of them manicuring the grass? Very few, huh? There's many of them that's there. Have you seen any of them trying to build a house up or fix the rooftops? Very few of them, huh? Have many of them began to fix the fences or the gates around their houses? Very few, if any of them. I'm just giving you why they began to build so many new communities around you. Non-productive. They're getting ready to eliminate you. And they know they can go to the poverty-stricken communities at any time. For they don't believe that coronavirus is even real. No, they don't know that it's a virus that came out of a test tube. Just like some of them have been assumed to have come out of a test tube. Yeah, the virus has come out of a test tube, but the thing is that you don't have the antidote to be able to destroy it or to get past it. And whereby, if that be the case, you're in trouble, you're doomed. Yes, I know. There's many that just believe that it's going to be the 5G that's going to get them. Let me help you out. Many of you don't even own cell phones. Cell phones, that's what some of the elders have been calling it that I've been talking to. You don't even own a cell phone. Many of you don't own a computer. Many of you right now are listening by way of a telephone that once you hang up on me, that's going to be the last call on it because you're living by minute to minute. Yes. And many of you have a phone that no one can trace, you believe, because when you get off of it, you're going to throw it away because you're not supposed to be on it anyway. Wrong again. So let me help you out. Everything that you're doing now in the poverty-stricken areas that they deem to be areas of nothing more than criminal activity, they already have a perfect plan to eliminate you off the planet. No, I'm not trying to put you in fear. I'm waking you up to what you need to start doing to save yourself. Yeah, I know. Some of your grandsons are not going to come by and help you elders. I can tell you that now. They're not going to come cut your grass, even though they saw that it was high, about 4.5 feet, taller some of them right now. But they're not going to come and cut your grass. And thereby, you're going to be boarded up. Yeah, your house is going to be boarded up. And then they're going to move you out into the old folks' home, where only the coronavirus right now is taking up residence. I know. No, you're not going to be able to talk to that wayward granddaughter, that wayward grandchild, that wayward grandson. You're not going to be able to talk to them right now. They're too busy. They're too busy just trying to unself-isolate. They're trying to now find some way of destroying the distancing so they can become closer to all of the things that they deem to be normal in the neighborhood, like sitting around smoking off of one joint with 5 people in a crowd. Stay with me. Listen, they already got you pegged. They already got it planned, a perfect plan to get rid of you. You're non-productive. Instead of being on a basketball court where there's 5 players, 6 if you have a team of 1 to come in and substitute. On opposing side, that would at least give you 12 men. You have 5 on the court and 1 on the side on each opposing side as a substitute, 12 men. But they already know now that in a poverty-stricken community now, they no longer meet on the basketball court. No, they meet in what used to be a park. You know, the concrete benches are still there and so is the table. But they're all grassed up now. Yeah, you can't find a trail down to them now. No, there's no basketball court that sits over with a bunch of chains hanging off and about a few would-be 10-foot poles that are nothing more than metal. They're not there anymore. And these same 12 men are now sitting on this concrete bench in the middle of nowhere, they would say, because the grass is growing up and there's no other identifying elements around them that will classify it as a park. And they're all smoking off in about 2 bowls, they would call it, or 2 blunts. Stay with me. Got a mic. You ain't got it yet. You're just still living to die, aren't you? And I'm trying to wake you up. I told you I have to breathe life back into a dying world. However else do you expect me to do it when you won't stand still and listen? God Almighty. They already have a perfect plan to get you off this planet. You haven't identified yourself. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are or who you're going to be. You won't identify yourself. You're too busy listening to all the people that say they know me, but they themselves have already been ID'd. Because if they haven't been ID'd, they wouldn't know me. So now they're going to put you in a condition, in a position where they believe that your $1 billion will become their $1 billion worth, and thereby they can just allow you to be eliminated. But you can't see that for. I know. You don't have a nose on your face, so it won't be that plain, will it? Stay with me. I'm only coming here to educate the universe. I came to educate the whole world, the earth, there and here over. But you only got to be able to listen. You have to open your ears and hear the spirit. Stop listening to the voice and listen to the spirit in which has come with it to wake you up where reality must somehow be able to be your judge, or you're going to be eliminated. I know I keep using that word. I'm just giving you what they have already planned for you, elimination. Non-productives and the productives. The productives are people now who are buying new homes. The productives are people now who are moving out of your community. The productives are those who now find themselves in once upon a time in the studio where they were at least spinning records to make enough money to put out their own would-be brand name potato chips. Isn't that right, Cardi B? Help me out. God almighty. And you're just a non-productive. Even though one would say a party mouth like Cardi B, and no offense to her, I have never met her personally myself, but I can tell you and assure you that she would get a chance quicker to a ticket at what we would classify to be the White House dinner than you would be able to, even though her party mouth would get her probably kicked out after being there no longer than about 15 minutes. She would at least be a guest on the register. I know. God almighty. People are not listening to me. I'm a nobody, trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. So who's listening to me anyway? Yes, I can assure you that you are considered right now to be a non-productive. Once again, let me introduce who we are. We are the World Global Network Reset Restoration Network family. We are 198 sovereign nations. These sovereign nations have 7 billion sovereign principles, 7 billion sovereign individuals who have come together as a 7 billion people to save this planet Earth after all else have been determined. Non-productive? Yes. Criminals? Yes. Murderers? Yes. Pedophiles? Yes. Rapists? Yes. Thieves? Yes. All of these, as I begin to do roll call, they will become the non-productive. Yes. Non-productives. And after being non-productive, they will be eliminated, and then they will begin to march forward for the new world. They're finding some way to compete with one another for your ignorance, not for your knowledge, not for your intelligence, not for your civilized world. But they're trying to find some way to manipulate you by some powerful statement in which you will buy and which you will go along with. Let me explain to you about their norm for you right now. Their norm, once again, is to classify you either one that will be classified as productive or non-productive. Here's the catch. They're already testing the people now by way of what they believe to be employment. For many of the millions of people that have now filed for unemployment, American government right now is out counting those numbers as if though that was the new census. The new census is telling them that these people are the people that we will classify as being non-productive. Non-productive. They don't want to work. So we're going to dub them as being non-productive. And they will even tell you, well, there's a job. There's jobs at McDonald's. They will tell you there's jobs. There's jobs now at all the fast food drive-through restaurants, but nobody wants to go take those jobs. That's what they're going to tell you. And they're going to say because you didn't apply for any of those jobs, thereby we have classified you to be non-productive. Here's another catch for you. The average one of those jobs do not want to pay no more than $11 an hour. They know that many of you have come from what you deem to be corporate positions, corporate jobs. Yes, you have come from divisional jobs. Yes, company jobs. You have come from them where you are making far more than $11 an hour. Many of you didn't even get paid by the hour. You got paid by the minute. Many of you were receiving more than $200,000 for just that would-be minute. And now, for you to go and work a job at $11 an hour would be impossible for you to survive off it. But they're not going to say that. See, and their report of you is going to be that you are so incapable of working a simple job as putting together a hamburger by way of looking at a would-be diagram, and which will be also provided for you. They're going to dub you as being non-productive, incapable of working what would be known as a second-class citizen's job, even though you have what is more than a highly classified first-class citizen's education. Seems to all of you that it really doesn't matter. But the coming days, the coming months, you're going to have to recognize and realize that everything that I'm saying now, you either will have gotten it, you will actually be able to witness to it in a court of law without any doubt in your mind. Or you're going to find yourself being classified as the have-nots, the non-productive, and then they're going to march you off into a place known as a camp where they will be exterminating those people, and you'll never get out. They're going to classify you as one that has been infected by the pandemic. They're going to say that you're losing your mind, and the pandemic is now taking over the neural system of all people. And they're going to classify you as one that neurally have lost his way. He is a non-productive individual. There's no reason for us to put him in a system whereby we would have to take care of him for his entire life if he's given an opportunity to live, because he is never going to become healed. He's never going to get well. That's what they're making a statement, which we already know this is entirely untrue, impossible. But this is what will be said, and this is the way they will execute it. Right now, your Congress is working on the next stimulus program, not wanting to. For the simple fact they know that the stimulus is going to bring a lot of people to the realization that what is happening is global reset. And they don't want people to recognize a global reset, because that means that men like Bill Gates, who's known to have $54 billion at least, we know it's more, but they say that at least the $54 billion has this type of credit. They know that because of the reconstruction of what we know to be global reset, that all of those funds will be taken back up. And Bill will find himself one of 54 people who will have these funds redistributed to them at an equal amount of $1 billion a person. He already knows that. He knows that he will have $1 billion, but he knows there will be 53 other men that will have one of those billions of dollars of the $54 billion that they say he's worth. And that's why he don't want the global reset to happen. They got those individuals out there that they say have $360 billion. They know that will be at least 360 people that will have $1 billion. They don't want that to happen. Because the more people get the numbers to become billions, that means that everybody becomes equal. That means that the world will be totally reset. That means that the system will be now classified as the global reset. And everybody will have the exact same equal amount, and all men will be created equal. All men will have equal. All men will be able to live equal. And this is something that they're trying to prevent. Are y'all, is this making any sense to anybody? Oh, okay, maybe a few. I got you. That's the global reset. You know, right now, if I had to tell the community of color that there is a time for you to panic. I would not be telling you to panic because of coronavirus. Let me tell you the words you better be listening to and the phrase you better be listening to when it comes down to any feeling within your body that you want to panic. Non-productive. Something Dr. Henderson has been talking to you now for at least 10 years. If they classify you non-productive, they're going to eliminate you off the planet, period. You won't be able to go to China. You won't be able to go to Russia. You won't be able to go to North Korea or South Korea. You want to be able to go to North Vietnam or South Vietnam. You won't be able to go to North Sudan or Southern Sudan. They're going to classify you non-productive, and they are going to exterminate you. How do they determine it? First of all, they want to see if you're registered, if you are identifiable. You know what happens to what they call cold case files? I don't have to tell most of y'all because half of y'all definitely watch cold case files on TV, possibly every time it comes on. You don't miss an episode. Listen, cold case files are those files they determine that the person in whom they're either looking for or the person that they have found as the person they deem to be the victim is when they cannot identify them. It quickly, automatically goes into a cold case file. And that can remain for 30, 40, 50 years. And even longer. It can remain there forever. Cold case file. Why? We cannot identify. If you cannot be identified, they're going to automatically, they're going to give you an identity code. It is going to be classified non-productive. Let me help you out. Those senators and those so-called senators that are all fighting for a job, fighting for a position to be on the Obama administration still. And he's not even in office no more. He's just running his mouth because he deems himself to at least been able to identify himself after some would have been 40-some plus years of living in America as an unknown based upon the fact they didn't know if his name was Barry or Barack. But he finally identified himself after 4 different Social Security numbers and after finally being able to become some so-called community would-be activist or helper, where he was able to finally help himself into the White House, where he finally truly gained his identity, as he would say. And now he's out bashing everybody on the planet, and they think he's bashing Trump. If he's talking against what you know it to be, a real life of husband and wife, a true union of two people. The only true recognizable unit or union of people that's in what is known as anybody's Holy Scriptures. Not just the Holy Bible. All Holy Scriptures recognize only one true holy union. And right now, he's speaking out against it, and the people are not even acknowledging that because they're too busy looking at his pretty brown skin and his half-would-be so-called children and wife of a lovely wife that they're saying he's got with some mixed children based upon the fact that he's classified to be mixed. Because he's half white and half black, as far as they're concerned. Listen to this. I don't want to do this to you, my beloved. But if you would please do this for me while I'm talking, I need you to look up the book of Romans, first chapter. And I'm going to ask you, when I finish talking, I'm going to ask you to read Romans, first chapter, starting from the 23rd verse. And I'm going to do that for a reason, the 23rd verse, or the verse 23. And I want you to read it, and you're going to stop at the ending of that chapter, because the 32nd verse of that same chapter is going to end. And then I'm going to say something to the people now, that everyone who do not want to be recognized as non-productive, everyone who wants to make sure that their identity is recognized and that they want to truly make sure that even those of them who have already been identified based upon indexing do not find themselves being destroyed off the planet by God Almighty Himself, I'm going to say to them, listen to the words of which not only this book will say that, but there's every book that is a holy book on this planet says this exact same message is given to them. And they want you to believe that this message is not any good anymore. They want you to go to a Baptist church where they will preach opposite than what this word says. They want you to go to the Vatican City and sit down with none other than Pope Francis. And he is going to say that's the opposite of what this book and all of the holy books say. And they want you to believe that right now you are finally in a historical movement of all so-called men, what they would consider to be great and righteous men, are going to carry you to heaven on some so-called would-be ship. That they're going to just grab all the so-called people that believe in them and listen to them, and they're going to rapture them the heck up out of here so they can get them to heaven. I want you to listen to what's going to be said in this book. And this book is the Romans book. That's why they call it Romans chapter 1. It was written to the Romans. It was written to the Vatican. It was written to Roman Catholics. It was written to the Pope, and whom then was so-called men who classified themselves as holy men. And they were running the world in a manner in which they found themselves being condemned to hell. And right now, they're hearing this message once again, being read on this call. And I can tell them this is the final message that they're going to receive in this message. Where I tell them now, hell is where they will reside. I'm waiting, beloved.
Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God Yah into an image made like corruptible man, and birds, and four-footed animals, and creeping things. Therefore, Yah Allah also gave them up to uncleanness in the lusts of their hearts, to dishonor their bodies among themselves, who exchanged the truth of Yah Allah for the lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amun. For this reason, Yah Allah gave them up to vile passions. For even their women exchanged the natural use for what is against nature. Likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust for one another, men with men, committing what is shameful, and receiving in themselves the penalty of their error, which was due. And even as they did not like to retain Yah in their knowledge, Yah gave them over to a debased mind, to do those things which are not fitting, being filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness. They are whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yah, violent, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful, who knowing the righteous judgment of Yah-Allah, that those who practice such things are deserving of death, not only do the same, but also approve of those who practice them.
My beloved listeners, I say to you, arise and shine. If at this time you decide to no longer shine, you just want to rise in your would-be gloom day, or find yourself doing nothing more than at the end of the day fizzling out into nothing more than a dim light of hope, a dim light of ignorance, I say you go ahead and you listen to what's going on now in your so-called would-be government. You listen to what's going on right now in your so-called international world, where those of them who are preaching against this right here is leading you to nothing more to be classified as one who is non-productive, and they're going to destroy you by carrying you straight to hell with them. I need you to understand, again, these are not my words here. I didn't like those words. As a matter of fact, there were times in my life in those days in which I recognized that I was a man on this planet, that I didn't want to agree with a lot of these words, a lot of these things that was being said. But my beloveds, it did not change the fact that they were given to man as a warning, that he might turn from his vile and ignorant ways, only to be saved by Yah Allah, God of the universe.